Ladies and gentlemen, it is your host team, the St. Louis GateKeepers. Starting off, number 01, Olson. Number 6, Sir Nix-a-Lot. 7, Magnum PIMP. Number 12, Shred Astaire. 14, Loki. 39, Evie. 55, Static. 57, Monster Jam. 101, Blint. 0260, Spin Diesel. 394, Jar Jar Bwinks. 708, Badger. 787, Adam Midwest. 1691, Jammy Pacquiao. 1990, Yoshi. And 5150, Hulk. The coaches are Downtown Dallas, McGilla Gorilla, and Aaron Go Brawl.
This is going to be an absolutely incredible matchup. Some of the best talent to ever play the sport are spread across these two teams, and they know each other very well.
To start off, it's going to be Magnum PIMP on the line for the GateKeepers. That looks like Quadzilla out there for the Misfits. So Quad gets lead.
Quad gets a track cut. That's what he gets. It's a power jam for the GateKeepers. Magnum PIMP.
But it appears that Quad did get lead before picking up the track cut, so there will be no lead jammer now.
I think you are correct.
So 2-minute jam to start.
PIMP picking up 1, 2, 3, 4.
8 so far this jam to start for the GateKeepers. Power jam comes to an end as Quadzilla re-enters the pack. Both teams at full strength defensively as Yoshi drags Quadzilla back out of turn 3.
We're going to see these two teams put forth a lot of aggression. The question is are we going to see either one of them get frustrated?
That is going to be key. Cooler heads are going to prevail in this one, I believe.
No, I agree. Quadzilla pulling out all the stops. Spins left, spins right, picks up 4. And both teams with points on the board.
So 4 more at the end there gives Magnum 16 to Quadzilla's 4. So early advantage here on the power jam for the GateKeepers. Next up, it's going to be Carter on the line for Magic City against Loki for the GateKeepers.
Out of the gate.
Oh, boy.
With a penalty again. This time, Carter with a forearm. And joined by Tip.
And right here is where we see how well the GateKeepers play together. They immediately saw the pack situation and were able to drop back and pull that out of play on Tip.
Oh, very just cohesive track awareness and communication. Loki already picking up 4 points for the GateKeepers. Loki has had a pretty stellar weekend already. I was speaking to Loki earlier. She fits in like she has been a gatekeeper the entire time.
Well, that's the thing, is she has practiced with the GateKeepers for years before she officially transferred over. So, you know, the GateKeepers have always had open practices where a lot of arch skaters would come in and skate with the GateKeepers, and Loki's always been one to take full advantage of that.
Absolutely. I've seen Loki skate with a lot of different teams, but it really looks like she has found her home.
So we've had 2 jams so far and 2 Magic City Jammer penalties. And the Gatekeepers have taken full advantage of those Jammer penalties so far.
28 points for the Gatekeepers, only 4 for the Misfits. You got to wonder if the Misfits are going to be able to score any more points for the rest of this game. Of course they will.
I mean, we've seen Magic City play all weekend.
Right.
They can score points.
Yeah.
Looks like Brat's out there against Shred.
Oh!
God! Oh! Shred Astaire.
Good morning.
Oh, my gosh. Shred Astaire with the big hit, and then the stare down, skating into turn 3.
Gatekeepers drawing a line in the sand. A statement move.
Yeah.
Man.
And it looks like we got a timeout by Magic City.
Yeah, I imagine so.
And personally, I feel it's a very smart move to make that timeout after to kind of calm things down. Obviously, the first 3 jams have not gone their way.
Right.
So they want to reset, calm everything down, try to take away that momentum.
The momentum, and after what we've just seen, nerves can get frazzled.
Oh, yeah.
More aggression can seep in, and that can lead to even more penalties.
Yep.
So, no, you're absolutely right. A very good time to take a little breather.
There's a lot of experience on that bench over there in Magic City, and the coaching staff, a whole lot of experience over there. So you know they're going to make adjustments, and they're not going to need to wait till halftime to make adjustments. They're making adjustments each jam.
Yeah, on the fly. Some of the collectively, I would say, the most talent and experience in maybe all of Derby. If you were to add the years together, and they employ it very well, but you know, the Gatekeepers have been just an incredible team for a very long time.
So right now we got Magnum PIMP out there against Quadzilla. Magnum, your lead jammer. So we got a star pass to Streak. So Streak now the jammer for Magic City. So there was definitely a penalty called there at the end. It looks like Monster Jam taking a seat. Kelly sitting already for Magic City.
A lot of discussion here with the officials.
You're going to see a lot of that from these two teams because, again, a whole lot of Derby knowledge out on that track, and they're going to be asking the refs questions throughout the game, looking for clarification on how things are being called so they can adjust accordingly.
I mentioned before the Misfits have collectively the most experience and knowledge maybe out of all of Derby, but the Gatekeepers have 5 national championship under their belt all in a row.
So Jammy Pacquiao, your lead jammer, he's skating against Carter. So 5 jams, 5 lead jammers.
A little trouble calling off that jam, but finally does so.
Not sure if he picked up any points there. I haven't seen any indication.
Doesn't look like it.
Nope. Okay, so no points. Loki out there right now for the Gatekeepers. I think that might be Muffin or Buster. Yeah, it's Buster out there for Magic City. We got a toe stop floating around.
I'm not sure whose that is. And now we have a helmet gone.
So we got a helmet lost by Loki and a toe stop lost by Harrell.
Medic checking on Loki. She has a big smile on her face. Looks like she's fine.
Yeah, she's fine. It's just the helmet popped off, and she immediately, like, protected her head.
And, well, not only that, but we're going to get an official timeout.
You're like, everybody stopped immediately.
Right. All of the Misfits immediately knew, this is, okay. They basically protected her.
Yeah, and kudos to the ref crew for immediately calling that jam.
Right. So good job all around for the safety of the athletes involved.
Yeah, great awareness by everybody on the track in that situation. Now, I don't know if that counts as an injury stoppage to where she has to sit 3. I would assume so, but I'm not real sure.
I would think
we can actually maybe find out here.
Yeah.
So, yes, that is got some clarification from our ref staff here that is not an injury stoppage. It is equipment malfunction stoppage.
Right.
So, no, she doesn't have to sit 3.
So I should have put money on that. That's what you're saying.
Yep, so we got Shred Astaire out there now against Last Rites, a former gatekeeper, recently, just a few years ago, transferred to Magic City.
So he's a traitor.
That's right. No, he actually moved down there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Shred Astaire, your lead jammer. Jar Jar Binks being sent off for a high block. So I believe that is the second penalty for the gatekeepers so far.
Shred Astaire. Caught against that solid tripod. Adds 3 more points to the gatekeepers.
So we saw a penalty called there at the end. Not sure who it was called on. Looks like...
I think it was a multiplayer block.
It looks like Garcia in the box for Magic City. So 4 points, 4 more points for the white for gatekeepers, so 7 that jam. Yeah. So it's going to be Static Shock out there now for the gatekeepers against Bratz for Magic City.
Static Shock had a very good showing earlier today. And Scrappy as he picks up control of the jam. Bratz does.
Very strong pack out there right now for Magic City. Chef, Tip, Streak.
Monster jam. Make sure Bratz doesn't get too much more forward momentum. Oh, and a track cut.
Nice move on the outside there by Static Shock, who has had an amazing weekend for the gatekeepers. He has really stepped up his game this weekend.
You know, earlier, Hammer Eye jokingly said that, suggested that the Misfits, could they get more than 4 points? Well, here we are. The gatekeepers have actually shut them down. I think they are going to add some points to the board here in this jam. Of course, I'm confident they will, but I think I think Bratz has already grabbed some before he went to the penalty box. We'll find out if that's the case.
Yeah, this is a scoring pass for Static here, and also a scoring pass for Bratz as he has re-entered play from the penalty box.
I don't expect to see a whole lot of double-digit jams.
No, I do believe those are going to be few and far between. Both of these teams are just so solid defensively. I think the only time you're going to see double-digit jams is when one team or the other gets in trouble in the penalty box, when they're down 1 or 2 to a full pack on the other side. That's when you're going to see those big point totals pop up. But otherwise, I think it's going to be pretty rare.
I agree. So 3 points there for the Gatekeepers, but 4 for the Misfits as the Misfits double their score. But the Gatekeepers still lead 42-8. Gatekeepers in the black, or excuse me, Gatekeepers in the white, Misfits in the black.
Magnum back on the line for the Gatekeepers. That is Carter out there for Magic City.
Oh, it is Carter out first. Carter low and fast. Both skaters on their scoring run. Carter pushed out. He's going to end the jam there and be content with another 4.
That is exactly what the Gatekeepers want to do against Carter. If you can limit Carter to 1 scoring pass a jam, that's a win. Carter is so good.
No, he really is. I said before, earlier today, and I don't think I've ever told Carter this, that he is probably in my top, well, I know he's in my top 5, probably my top 3 favorite skaters ever to call. Just insanely talented.
Yeah, I was actually talking to him earlier before this match and was joking with him about how effortless he makes it look. And he goes, I'm just really good at hiding how difficult it is. he goes, I am so tired and so beat after these games.
That's still underselling it. He's really, really good at hiding it if that's the case. Loki, who has not been hiding her talent this weekend.
No. Gatekeepers up 1 blocker as Streak sits in the penalty box.
Look at that. Has no problem going up against somebody the size and power of Harrell and besting him.
It's really just a situation where Loki really knows how to use her size as well as her agility in those one-on-one situations. It is really hard for any blocker to take on a jammer one-on-one.
You're absolutely right, but Loki in particular knows her center of gravity extremely well and knows how to use it against those blockers while still breaking through.
It's a lot like if in football. You know, a wide receiver has every advantage when it comes to going up against defensive back because the wide receiver knows exactly where he's going, whereas the cornerback has to guess. So, Shred of Stare out there for the Gatekeepers. And for Magic City, it is Bratz.
Oh, Bratz down hard. Both jammers down. Bratz on the inside. Shred of Stare on the outside.
That Gatekeeper triangle up front, it opens up and invites the opposing jammer in and then closes at the last second.
Both jammers go down again at the same time.
And Magic City again in trouble penalty-wise. 2 blockers in the box. You cannot give Shred of Stare all that extra space when you're down blockers.
Shred of Stare, 4 points.
Nice work there by BA to open up that line for Bratz to finally get free. And Shred has scored some more points. He's going to call that jam off. So 6 points, that jam. Gatekeepers perfectly content to just put 4, 6, 8 on the board, a jam. That is more than enough for them.
Looks like Quadzilla will be taking the line for the Misfits. Oh, is it? It might be. I might be mistaken on that. It's Carter. Yep, you're right.
Yep, Jamie Pacquiao.
I should have known Quadzilla is the pivot right up front.
Jamie Pacquiao, your lead jammer. Chef in the penalty box for a forearm. Very, very spread out and fast pack right now. Normally you would say that benefits Magic City's style, but right now with that pack and that composition, that was actually all in favor of the Gatekeepers with Jamie Pacquiao's speed.
We're going to get a team timeout. Another one called by the Misfits.
It's funny, you look at the way the Gatekeepers roster has evolved during COVID, had a lot of retirements, and then a bunch of guys step up, like Static Shock has stepped up into the a travel team jammer role. Jamie Pacquiao has really had a breakout season. Loki has really come into her own. So the Gatekeepers have been able to continue that high-powered offense with these new players coming up and stepping into roles that have been recently vacated by, like, Shane Bauer, who has left, and Corey Porter obviously left several years ago. But that was still a hole. And, you know, unfortunately right now with David being out after the concussion that he sustained yesterday, they needed somebody to be able to step up, and they have that depth to fill in those spots. So it's going to be Quadzilla on the line now for Magic City. Magnum out there for St. Louis. Oh, Magnum thought he had daylight. Garcia there to stop him. And that's going to give Quadzilla the time he needs to get lead. So we got some penalties being assessed. B.A. Allman headed to the penalty box.
Quadzilla slides through to pick up 4. And the jam will end there. 4 unanswered for the Misfits. Much needed points. 16-61 with the Gatekeepers leading.
So we're going to see Blint on the line, I believe. This is his first time on the jammer line this game. He's going to be going up against Last Rights for Magic City. A 4-on-3 pack advantage in favor of the Gatekeepers as B.A. Allman sits in the penalty box right now.
I'm excited to see what Blint does in the following years. He's growing so much, so fast. A tremendous amount of energy and talent, but I don't think he's peaked yet.
No.
Not even close.
No. So Last Rights is going to grab lead jammer.
Blint stashes the star for a moment, pops it back, tries to chase down Last Rights.
And again, the Gatekeepers jammer is showing they are not opposed to going physical.
No, and I expect that's only going to increase. Our medics are going to do perhaps a little bit of jogging this game.
Yeah, this is going to be a very physical game. So Carter on the line going up for Magic City, going up against Shred Astaire for St. Louis.
On the inside, that hole was shored up pretty quickly. Misfits, can they hold him back? Shred Astaire. Nowhere to go.
Yeah, both of these teams so good at just locking up a jammer. Oh, big pile up in turn 3.
Carter takes his time. Looks like Misfits.
Oh, power jam here for Magic City.
Oh, wow.
I did not see the call.
No, I didn't either.
But now a little bit of penalty issues for Gatekeepers as not only the jammer in the box, but one blocker. So 3-on-3 pack.
Oh, this is really good for Magic City.
Yeah, this is where Carter really shines, having all that extra space. But the Gatekeeper pack able to shut things down and force Rolomite to call that off.
No love lost there between teammates or between
opposing teams.
Opposing teams,
Yeah.
thank you. My brain knew that was wrong, what I said.
Here once again we see now Gatekeepers are going to call a timeout. We see Magic City putting what I would personally consider to be their strongest pack out there with Tip, Chef, and Streak. A very dynamic blocking core there. All three could just as easily be top-tier jammers.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's just a testament to the kind of the depth of the talent that they have.
Yeah, Magic City has a lot of what players who could easily be two-way players, both blockers and jammers.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, at the half, we're going to do our raffle drawing. There'll be two drawings. One, the first ticket is going to win the signed banner that was up front at the front door, and two merchandise items of their choice from the Gatekeepers. And then the second ticket will be for the 50-50 drawing.
Okay.
So $110 goes to the winning ticket of that draw. So don't go anywhere. Back in action here. Power jam in effect. Whoa. Buster out there jamming for Magic City. Gets lead jammer.
We're starting to see Magic City string some successes together. Jamming it in there. 3 points for the Misfits, bringing them to 26. Gatekeepers stay at 61.
Again, though, this is really just the GK style of play. Limit their opponent to maybe one scoring pass because they know eventually they're going to get a big jam with 2 or 3 scoring passes. So they are okay giving up 3 and 4. They're fine with that.
Misfits are going to try to get into the heads of the Gatekeepers and get them to stop playing the Gatekeepers game, though. And their go-to method of doing that is with subversion and distraction.
Yep.
Or, excuse me, subversion and aggression.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to say.
Brat's actually taken out by his own player there on the inside line. So a penalty call there on Evie. Meanwhile, Yoshi doing a nice job at the back of the pack on Bratz, which lets Loki grab lead jammer. And now we got a forearm call on Yoshi. So penalty trouble for the Gatekeepers, 2 in the box, as Bratz has taken the star pass. So Loki calls that jam off in a 0-0 jam. Probably not going to see too many of those this game.
Just under 7 minutes left in the first half.
Gatekeepers down 2 in the pack. Magnum out there against Carter.
Carter with a major pack advantage. Will he be able to take advantage of it? Absorbs a hit from Sir Nix-a-Lot. Nice move, but both jammers out. It is Gatekeepers.
Yeah.
Magnum in control.
Magnum will absolutely try to slow Carter down to get his box empty, but he's not going to be able to. He did get one out, and Yoshi is now standing in the box.
One thing that we were talking about before the game is that these two teams.
That sounds like you went. Sounds like your mic went dead.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, there we go.
One thing we were talking about.
Now it's dead again. So Jamie Pacquiao out there for the Gatekeepers going up against. Looks like Buster out there for Magic City. So Quadzilla sitting in the box alongside Beastie. So a 4-on-2 pack advantage in favor of the Gatekeepers. Well, it was a 4-on-2. Now it's a 2-on-2.
Whistles blow. Wow. I kind of thought he had that. That's tough. Shoelace coming undone right in the middle of a jam. Buster. No points on that pass, but 4 for the Misfits, bringing this 30-61. Gatekeepers still in the lead, but Misfits slowly chipping away at it. Gatekeepers hasn't scored any points in the past few jams.
So it's going to be Carter now out there for Magic City against Shred Astaire for St. Louis. 3-on-3 pack. Magic City blocker standing in the box. Yoshi sitting. Streak, Kelly, and Chef out there for Magic City blocking. Monster GM, Nix, and Spin for the Gatekeepers.
Mortal Knights. Carter. Pouring on some coals into those skates.
Go so hard, picked up an extra penalty on his way to the box. Not sure what it was, but he'll sit a whole minute. So Carter grabs 4 and calls it off.
You mentioned earlier that the Gatekeepers are doing a good job holding Carter back to one scoring pass, but if the Misfits keep the Gatekeepers from scoring at all,
so
it may not matter.
Yeah, it'll be Loki on the line now for St. Louis. I believe that's Bratz out there for Magic City.
I believe so, yes, it is. Loki out first, in control. With a big head of steam. If you had told me 2 years ago that one of the biggest scoring weapons Gatekeepers would have in their arsenal was going to be Loki, I've always been impressed with their talent, don't get me wrong, but, you know, it's the Gatekeepers. And now it's like, wow.
It's really just one of those situations where she has taken full advantage of an opportunity that's been given to her. You know, with some injuries and some retirements in the Gatekeepers Jammer Corps, it's opened up a spot for her, and she has completely taken advantage of it.
Yeah, and she has a tremendous amount of experience in this sport as well, leading into it. Magnum.
Yep.
With some force, picks up 4 and calls off the jam.
Okay, is it just me, or has this been the fastest half of Derby you've ever seen?
It really has been. We're down to a minute. And
I mean, holy cow.
it's just flown by.
Yeah, this will likely be the last jam, barring any quick call-offs and timeouts. But we've got Shred-a-Stare for St. Louis going up against Quadzilla for Magic City. Both teams with one blocker in the box. Quadzilla is going to be your lead.
Shred-a-Stare absorbs a block, gets on his scoring run. Quadzilla looking to make his final scoring pass and does so with 4 and out.
Looks like Magic City is going to use their official review, and I'm assuming that they're just going to use it as a timeout here. Get one more jam in.
More than likely, yes. Something to stop the clock.
I could be wrong, but I didn't really see anything in that jam that I thought would be something you'd want to review. But you get one of those official reviews each half, so
That's right.
Why not use it?
They need to review whether or not they want to do another jam.
You cannot take those reviews home with you, so you might as well use them.
You can't?
Not last I checked. I could be wrong, though. The rules do change in this game quite a bit. I mean, just 5 years ago, we were kneeling to start, and there were minor penalties. So.
Yeah. There's been a lot of changes over the years.
We've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, the good old days.
Yep.
Poodling and
Oh, poodling. How I miss the not.
I mean, I remember the days of the penalty wheel. Showing my age a little there.
Well, when most of us come out here on the microphone with giant hats, and not that there's anything wrong with that. Not at all. Some of my favorite voices that's ever lend their voice to the sport have had some wild outfits. From giant hats to purple clowns. There's a guy I've worked with in a long time.
It does seem like they were asking about something.
Oh.
So initially, we had Magic City call the official review just for a timeout, but then the Gatekeepers decided to actually use an official review, looking for a track cut on the Magic City jammer, but no call was awarded, so they lose their official review. Meanwhile, Carter going to be your lead jammer here to finish the first half. Magnum out there for the Gatekeepers. And now we're going to have a power jam as a back block the call on Carter.
High block being called now.
Track cut call on Chef, so getting a little sloppy here at the end of the first half.
Spin Diesel picking up that high block.
I do believe this is going to be a 2-minute jam, though, because Carter had lead before he picked up that penalty. So
he did.
Some bonus derby here in the first half.
Both jammers back in the thick of things. But both teams down a blocker.
Multiplayer block on Harrell, so he'll go to the penalty box. A regular revolving door right now in the penalty box for both teams. So the Power Jam is over. Carter going up against Monster Jam, Hulk, Nix, and Spin.
Monster Jam cycling Carter way back. Carter trying to make the leap into more open waters, but can't quite make it.
So a big jam to end the half for the Gatekeepers, and they have opened up a 43-point lead now. And, of course, they just changed the score on me, so it's no longer 43.
Carter starting off the second half up against, I believe, Magnum PIMP.
I believe this is the very same jammer matchup we had to start the game as well.
And to end the first half, wasn't it?
Yeah, an empty penalty box. So both teams at full strength. Haven't been able to say that very much this game. There's been a lot of penalties.
That's true. And Magnum has control.
Spin Diesel headed to the penalty box for St. Louis, so pack advantage in favor of Magic City.
Carter on a scoring run. Magnum biding his time. Calls it off with 4 on his side and allows 1.
So 2 points.
He allowed 2.
So it'll be Bratz on the line for Magic City against Loki for St. Louis. Loki had an amazing first half. We'll see if she can carry that momentum into the second. Quadzilla headed to the box. Evie headed to the box. Meanwhile, Loki, your lead jammer.
Loki, fake out on the outside of the turn 1. Picks up 4.
She gets so low. It's so hard to hit her. She just doesn't give you any kind of profile to hit.
Well, both those blockers bought it, too. That move to the inside. This is blown. Goes so hard, went to the penalty box there. Loki with 12 points already, and Quadzilla not going to be able to chip away any as Loki picks up 14 in total.
So a 14-0 jam there in favor of the Gatekeepers. Next up, it is Shred Astaire on the line for St. Louis going up against, that's Buster out there for Magic City.
If you're just joining us this half, the Gatekeepers are in the white, and they lead with 99. Misfits in the black with 44. Shred Astaire being called on a track cut, going to the penalty box.
One strategy I will just never understand is when you're in a power jam and you just leave your jammer out there on an island against the wall.
Yeah.
Your blockers have literally nothing to do in that situation. Have them go up and play offense. I'll never understand that play.
No, I never have either. It just makes your jammers exhausted.
Yeah. I mean, a power jam is an opportunity for you to really close that gap, and then you're just leaving your jammer out there on an island.
It's one thing if you're up against a team that is significantly faster than you, but that is not the case.
Yeah, at this level, you're not really going to run into a team that's significantly faster than one or the other. So power jam comes to an end. Shred a Stare back in there. Going up against Tip, Harrell, and Go Harder. Go So Hard, I mean. So we're going to have a timeout now. Official timeout?
Yep. Official timeout.
Again, that last jam is really interesting because both teams just kind of stopped. You know, and in those situations, that absolutely favors the team in the lead. So the Gatekeepers all day, they're fine. If you want to stop everything and just stand around, we'll take that time off the clock. All right, so we've just been informed that Go So Hard on Magic City has fouled out.
Go So Hard went a little too hard.
Yes. Go So Hard back to the locker room.
Yep.
So they had to do the official timeout so they could get another Magic City player to take his place for the remainder of his penalty in the box. Meanwhile, Magnum PIMP, or lead jammer for St. Louis. Unfortunately, some people in the box for the Gatekeepers, they weren't able to kill. Looks like Evie got out, though. So one blocker in the box for each squad.
4 points for the Gatekeepers, bringing them over the 100-point mark. 103-44, Gatekeepers. Both jammers out with the quickness, last rights, and Loki. Loki has the lead and the speed, but she goes down hard, calls it off, and with a bit of sportsmanship, checks on Chef there.
So at the end of that jam, they assessed a low block penalty to Loki. So it'll be a power jam here for Magic City. Carter out there. Oh.
Oh, wow.
Spin Diesel with a big hit on Carter.
Carter with a hop.
Oh. Carter did not see Evie drop back as well. So able to draw the track cut on Carter. Spin Diesel knocked Carter out on turn 2, and both he and Evie was on the inside and dropped all the way back into turn 1. Carter did not see it.
Loki had already served almost the entirety of her jam, so she will have pretty much a full power jam here.
Yeah. Loki does have lead.
Carter slips through.
Yeah.
Power jam ends, but so does the jam.
So 4 points there for Loki.
A low block being assessed on Milo Garcia.
Yeah, he took a fall there right in front of Loki. And even though he did fall small, there just wasn't any place for Loki to go. So they kind of had to call the low block. So when it's just one of those unfortunate penalties you have no control over.
Yeah.
Those do happen from time to time. Just gotta bite your lip and go to the penalty box and serve your 30. Meanwhile, Blint, yeah.
This is the only the first time in this half, second time in this game we've seen it. And he's in a power jam as Buster goes to the penalty box. Blint pinballing around, breaks out for 4 and calls off the jam.
So a power start here for St. Louis. Magnum PIMP will be the lone jammer. Both teams at full strength for the blockers.
Magnum PIMP putting in the hurt into the defense of the Misfits.
Both of these teams just so physical. Like, you may win the game, but we're going to punish you while you win.
And they turned that up against each other.
Yes. There's a lot of history between these two teams.
Yeah. Oh man, is on display right now.
Yoshi going to take a seat in the sin bin.
These two teams forge each other in fire.
So 2 in the box for St. Louis right now. So it'll be a 4-on-2 pack advantage in favor of Magic City. And it looks like that's going to be Shred Astaire on the line against Carter. If you're just joining us, Magic City in black, St. Louis in white.
GateKeepers lead 120-44 with about 18 and a half left in regulation. And we're going to get a team timeout called by St. Louis.
Want to thank everybody at home watching on our Twitch stream. Looks like we got about 230 watching right now out there on the internets.
And rising. Some of those in the chat I haven't seen in a while. Some names popping up that I recognize.
Yeah, just so you guys out there in Twitch world know, we can see what you're typing, so we appreciate you.
Hi, Robin. Brings back some happy memories to see the Dread Pirate Robin there in the chats.
Yep. Want to thank our amazing ref crew this weekend, as well as all the volunteers that help make an event like this possible. Without the volunteers and, of course, the ref crews, we could not have these events.
Hammer getting some love there in the chat as well.
Aw. Oh, it's Lethal. Miss you, girl. So Shred a Stare, your lead jammer as we get back into action. Carter also free of the pack.
Oh, this jam has picked up some serious speed.
Yeah.
Let them skate. Of course, I say that, and Shred a Stare shuts it down.
I'm really curious if at this point in the game you're not going to see the Gatekeepers. You notice that they kind of ran that jam a little bit long, went ahead and did a couple passes, allowed Carter to score some points. I have to wonder now if the Gatekeepers aren't going to go into more of a clock management mode where when they get lead, they go ahead and give up a few points as long as they can run some more time off that clock and make sure they don't lose points. So it'll be interesting to watch to see if they do that.
It could be. I'm also curious if the Misfits don't try to just run the legs out of St. Louis and play a bigger game of attrition through just pure speed rather than, stopped muscle aggression.
Yeah, forearm. Looks like a forearm crawl on last right. So power jam. We're going to swap jammers. We missed the penalty on Jammy. Jammy, his first action this second half. Olsen headed to the penalty box as last rights.
Four points now for St. Louis.
The nice thing about announcing play at this level is you always have to worry about giving away a player's position. So you don't want to say that someone's coming out of the box too soon. But you know when it's two high-level teams like this, they know damn well that blocker's coming out of the box or that penalty's coming out of the box.
The bad thing about announcing play at this level is sometimes you forget, oh, yeah, we have to talk.
We get so enamored with the play.
Right.
Like we completely missed that earlier penalty on Jamie Pacquiao.
Another 4 points to the board of the Gatekeepers. 12 so far.
Yeah.
And this is the biggest jam the Gatekeepers have had this game. Certainly this half.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think they had a 12-point jam in the first half as well. But
yeah, my brain was like, no, I think there was one.
So now I believe it is the biggest jam of the game at 15. So big jam there for Jamie Pacquiao and the Gatekeepers, extending their lead, now up 140-48. 15 minutes to go here, midway point, second half.
And we're going to get an official timeout.
So we've got an official timeout. Definitely something happened that last jam that the officials want to discuss.
It'd be great if they were in there just like, so how awesome was that?
Yeah. Somehow I doubt it.
Yeah, probably not.
They're probably talking about, you need to watch this guy. He's doing this, and this guy's doing that. Again, great officiating this weekend.
It's been solid and consistent all around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got a great staff here this weekend all around. We just can't thank the volunteers enough, our officials, our NSOs, skating officials. They've done a fantastic job this weekend.
A lot of hard work put in by by everybody on the sidelines. Who, a lot of people who never get any love.
Well, I mean, unless you have done it, you just do not know the work that goes on behind the scenes to put on an event of this size. That's funny. That's funny. So you probably don't know, but we throughout the weekend we have been voting on MVPs, and we have to laugh. Because somebody just passed us a note that someone asked to change their MVP blocker to Evie. So I thought that was pretty funny. Like, one of the great advantages of being able to attend one of these events in person is not only do you get to see the Derby in person, but you have an access to the players that you don't normally have, and they're very approachable. You can go up and talk Derby with them. Like before this game, I spent a good 10 minutes talking to Carter about his approach to this game, and it's a very accessible sport for the fans.
Carter not finding a whole lot of accessible paths right now, but makes one. Carter carving out a hole and takes control. Carter making a seat for himself now.
Yeah, it looked like they called him for a low block for his re-entry on that apex jump because he clipped the legs on Monster Jam.
Penalty box almost completely full. Shy one Misfit blocker. Well, and the jammer for St. Louis. Carter turned inside out there. Monster Jam trying to avoid a penalty and does so. But it's going to allow Carter to pick up 4 points. Oh, he goes wide to the outside.
So again, Gatekeepers only limiting Carter, even on a full 2-minute jam, to 4 points or 5 points. But still precious time coming off that clock for Magic City.
It really is, and with the clock now down to 12 and a half, every second really becoming valuable.
Well, I mention this quite often that when you get to a certain stage in the game, the clock becomes as much an opponent as the other team when you're down by a certain amount. And we're definitely seeing that here where Magic City's just running out of time to chip away at that score. They're going to have to start scoring in big chunks if they want to make that deficit disappear.
You know, something that we have as announcers have said a few times, I know both of us have experienced it, that 100-point differential, while we're not quite there yet, we've both seen that overcome before, but it is extremely rare.
Especially at this level.
Yes.
Like mistakes of that, because it's really going to take mistakes on the Gatekeepers' part to allow a jam that large. Right. And they just don't normally do that. Now, it's not saying it can't happen, because everybody makes mistakes. But at this level of Derby, it's much less likely to happen.
Right. Pretty much the team ahead has to either foul some really key players out, or sometimes the battle of attrition just catches up, even with a seasoned team.
Yeah, or they lose their cool.
Right.
I've seen several games come down to a couple of key players losing it, and then the whole team comes down with them.
Unfortunately for the Misfits, I don't see that scenario currently boiling amongst the Gatekeepers.
And that's not to take anything away from Magic City. They have played a very solid game, but what's really hurt them has been the penalties. Whenever they have gone down a blocker or two, the Gatekeepers have pounced and put a 4 or 8 spot on them, when the most that Magic City has really been able to do is a 4-point here, a 4-point there.
Yeah, consistency has been key for St. Louis, and being able to play a very tight game. The couple of times that we've seen the Misfits kind of get into their head and start to rattle them a little bit, St. Louis has been able to bring that egg back together.
Well, and another thing I think you're going to see here now as we get into the final 10 minutes of this game is you're going to see the Gatekeepers a lot of times are just going to hit the pack, grab a quick 4, call it off, because that's just going to run another 30 seconds off the clock between jams.
Right.
So Carter out there for Magic City, Blint for the Gatekeepers. Carter sneaks around the outside. He's going to be your lead jammer, Magic City. Nice hit there by Carter on Yoshi. Picks up 4, calls the jam off. So Shred a stare out there now against Last Rites. So Rites is your lead jammer. Beastie headed to the penalty box for Magic City. And Shred able to close the gap and force the call off. Only 2 points allowed there. Gatekeepers are like, I'll take that.
Yeah, and at this point with the spread, even though they're allowing 4 points or 2 points or whatever and then able to shut it down, it's eating more time off the clock.
Yep. So Bratz on the line now for Magic City. Jamie Pacquiao out there for St. Louis. So it looks like a high block on Olsen will take a seat. Harrell's in the box as well, so each team down a blocker. Meanwhile, Jamie Pacquiao with a really slick 4-point pass. And it's looking like the Gatekeepers are going to run this jam. Well, maybe not.
Jamie Pacquiao got to call it off. Pacquiao has been lighting up the crowd as much as he has the track.
Yeah, and I think we're going to get an official review here by Magic City. They're going to be looking for a low block there.
Yeah, I believe you're right.
I don't like to weigh in on these because I'm not a referee, but I mean that.
Oh, we can speculate.
I mean that looked like a low block to me, but again, not an official. To my untrained eye, because I've never worn the stripes, so I don't know what goes on in those huddles. So while this event may be coming to a close, it doesn't mean you can't still get merchandise from your favorite teams that are here this weekend. Many of them have online shops that you can go to. You can search them out on social media and on their websites, and many of them have online stores. So please make sure to support these teams, as your merchandise sales are what let them generate enough money to continue to travel and play this game they love. This is, of course, a volunteer sport, volunteer-driven sport. None of these guys are paid, so
I'll be looking for the online shop for Disorder, Mexico City's team.
Oh, they were so much fun to watch this weekend.
They were so much fun to call as well.
They were having just so much fun. It's so funny. This is a sport where when a team is having fun playing the game, like, you can feel it. Like, you can feel it in the crowd. You can feel it as a volunteer, as an announcer, and they were just having an absolute blast. Okay, and as we suspected, they were looking for a low block. They did get it. The review was successful. So a power jam here for Magic City. Carter quickly grabs lead jammer.
And Carter going to take full advantage of this as best as he can. Try to bring that mountain of points down to a hill.
So
nice.
B.A. Allman headed to the penalty box.
Carter doing a solid job staying in bounds.
Oh.
And Pacquiao now in scoring position. Carter turning into a whirlwind, calling off the jam, but allows a few of his own.
So we had a question on the Twitch stream. Sig Tom asked, where can we get the iHOD shirt? Gatekeepers Roller Derby website isn't working too well. Unfortunately, Sig, I think I got some bad news for you, as I believe the iHOD merch is going to be an event exclusive. Unfortunately, I believe you will have to have been here to get one. I tell you what, though, I will check into that for you and try to find out if we can get you one of those. I do believe there were some left, but limited sizes were available, and I do not believe those will be reissued. So we'll see what we can do for you, but I can't promise you anything, bud. Thank you for asking, though. We appreciate the request.
We are in the middle of an official review. This one being called by the Gatekeepers.
So Magnum PIMP, your lead jammer. Meanwhile, that official review was looking for a track cut, but the ref staff did not believe one happened, so Gatekeepers will lose their official review.
Both jammers on their scoring run, but it is Magnum out front. Whistles blow with Magnum ending the jam, and a couple of points to the Gatekeepers. Looks like one for the Misfits.
So 3 points Gatekeepers, 1 point Magic City.
And we're going to have an official timeout.
Yep. So what was a very fast first half, and first half of the second half is now kind of slowed to a crawl a bit as people are using their official reviews and referees are calling timeouts to get things straightened out. So slowing the game down just a bit. Static Shock out there now for St. Louis, going up against, I believe that is Buster, I think.
Of course, you got to think that any timeout, especially official timeouts, potentially aids the Misfits.
Yes.
Any stoppage of the clock.
Yeah. So star pass to Quadzilla.
Quadzilla busting through like a man on fire. Big smile on Quadzilla's face, but the jam is going to end before he can do anything with it.
I just cannot say enough about Static Shock this weekend. He has had such a good weekend jamming for St. Louis. I just can't say enough about how great it is to see Magic City back here. I mean, this is just one of the old school MRDA rivalries here, St. Louis and Magic City, and it's just, they're always so much fun.
It is a classic. Oh! Man, Shred a Stare just eating. Oh, and some more trading of pain. Whistles blow.
Shred a Stare, another one having just an amazing weekend. That's really been the question coming out of COVID is what would the Gatekeepers Jammer rotation look like with some key retirements and stuff like that. And it does not look like the Gatekeepers have dropped off at all with this new crop of jammers that are coming up through the program.
Blint.
Another fine example right here is Blint.
Oh, yeah.
Is your lead jammer.
Blint is a superstar in the making.
Brad's out there jamming for Magic City.
Bratz with a hop. Stashes the star and redons it.
So a 4-0 jam there in favor of St. Louis. 2:30 to go here in the second half, and it's now going to be Magnum on the line for St. Louis against Carter for Magic City. Both teams at full strength in the pack.
There's definitely shades, little hints here and there of exactly what we were expecting, but for the most part, this is not how I thought this game was going to go.
No, I expected this game to be much closer. Like, yep. I honestly felt this was going to be a coin flip game. Like, that's just not how it has played out this time. So, big smiles on both Magnum and Carter's faces. And Magnum's going to grab the one and call it off.
Both these teams starting to relax a little bit as the clock has made this now a bit of an insurmountable hill.
Yeah. So Quadzilla out there for Magic City, Jamie Pacquiao out there for St. Louis.
This should be a good matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Quadzilla goes in, looks to the outside. Monster jam there, but can't stop him.
So power jam now for Magic City.
Hop on the outside as Quadzilla pops back up and picks up 4. If Misfits are going out, they're going out swinging.
So Quadzilla just calls that jam off after picking up 4.
So 2 more for 6 total for the Misfits, bringing their score 85. Gatekeepers sit unchanged at 167.
So a power start here for Carter. What is likely to be the last jam of the game.
Oh, Murph almost crossed that line.
She did. She had to release. She had to.
Oh, Carter out first.
God, I swear, Jamie Pacquiao just looks like he was shot out of a cannon.
Pacquiao being hunted down by Carter now.
Oh!
Oh!
Woo! And that is going to do it. What a fantastic game.
Hugs and loves being passed between the two teams. And ultimately, that's what you love to see the most.
Yeah, absolutely. What a fun game. Never a dull moment when these two teams collide.
Nope.
Don't forget, we still have some awards to hand out here. Yep. So your official final is going to be Gatekeepers 171, Misfits 90. But don't go anywhere, folks, as we're going to hand out some MVP hardware here. How about a huge round of applause for these two squads here? A big-time game between two big-time teams. A fitting end to what has been an amazing weekend of roller derby.
Really has been.
You just got to love that there's like another level of energy when it's a rivalry game.
Yeah. It's a level of energy, though, you don't mind expending.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to take some team photos here real quick, and then we'll do some MVP awards.